Hello, Josie here. Are you ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. So this is a part two. Does it hurt to cut cords? This is part two. As I was saying, continuing on from the first video, these connections were not all sexual. Let me make that clear. There were individuals that I connected with non-sexually before anything ever happened sexually, and or nothing ever sexual happened between us. This could have been acquaintances, associates, this could be lovers, this could be potential lovers, this could be connections and or hookups, if you want to call it that. But I don't really think of them as hooking up because I never did that. I always either followed the direction that Father God was showing me to follow through intuition, and I would actually get to know a lot of people very well before anything ever would occur. It was not like with a lot of these individuals that I just said, oh, I want to hook up or I just want to connect. I'm going to connect with this person. No. In that situation with that person, I was on this site for a long period of time. I happened to watch this person's cam feed and just seeing this person, the way he was talking, the way he was behaving, the way he was acting. God sent me in. I just heard the song, Send Me an Angel, Send Me an Angel, right now. That's a song. I just heard that song in my head while I was talking about, just as I was talking about this. He needed someone to go and be an angel out here in this world. And we as his children, he will guide us to people, not just in those instances, if we happen to be on those sites or in those environments. He will send us into dark places to be a light, to be a healing source for individuals. And hopefully you understand that before I progress and move on to the next thing. Now, you can be in someone's life, and we can be in someone's lives as angels, as children of God, as those lights. We can be in people's lives. We can be put in people's lives. We can put ourselves in people's lives to be a blessing to them. That does not necessarily mean that we're going to be in their lives forever, that we're going to be a friend forever. The reason why is, in a lot of these instances, these individuals, they get what they need, or they get what they desire, or they get what they so-called want from us, and they do not see any other this is going to hurt. And this is not going to hurt me per se, just saying this hurts, but this is how some of these people are. Some individuals, a lot of individuals are. And I now have the song by Hole in my head. When they get what they want, then they never want it again. A lot of these people will come into these people's lives. They'll learn from us. They'll take from us, they'll use us, they'll abuse us, they'll manipulate, they'll trick, they'll have other people to take advantage of us or use us and abuse us and trick and so on and so forth. And then when they think they've gotten everything they need out of us, everything they want, whatever they desire, whatever they need, it doesn't always have to be sexual. It could be someone that pays attention to them and listens to them. When they feel like they've done that or they've received what they needed, then they move on with their life, or they move on, right? And they may not necessarily disrespect us or be evil towards us, but they just do not want to stay attached to us, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of, in a way, somewhat putting us down, but they have an opportunity to bless us in return. Not all of them choose to do that. That's where the test comes in. That's where the test comes in. It's because there are a lot of people that have been in our lives that have accessed us or had access to us, or we were partners with, or we were in a relationship with, or we were in a friendship with, and we were that. We were exactly that. We were good. We were authentic. We were real. We did not have any nefarious ideas and or negative intentions against these people. We came in with hearts of gold, with a light, with a love, with generosity, with authenticity. These are things that these individuals may not have access to in their worlds, in their lives. So coming into contact with us is a blessing. If they abuse that, if they misuse that, if they mistreat it, if they do not value it, God will actually be the one that will remove us from their life and may even make them think that they're the ones that are doing it, as if it's their choice to do it. Sometimes it is. Sometimes that person is saying, oh, I don't want to be your friend anymore, or I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore, or I don't need you anymore. Sometimes it's direct, sometimes it's in a roundabout way, sometimes it's in a way of, oh, I'm just not going to talk to you anymore. I'm just going to stop talking to you. I'm not going to respond to your text messages. If you send me a text message and check up on me or ask how I'm doing. It could be in a manner such as that. Until one day, and this is also going to hurt, not us, but it's going to hurt them when they reach out. When they reach out to us because they need something from us, they need that, or they want that old thing back. They want them heroin tracks. That lyric just came to mind too. When they are going through another ordeal or another trying time, or they've lost, people that they wanted to be in their lives, they wanted to have access to, and they lose those people, then they want to come back to us so that we can basically fill them up again. And we might not be there because the way that they treated us, the way that they made us feel, was not pleasing to God. So God removed us from their lives, and these people may have thought that they were kicking us out of their lives, when actually you just showed God who you really are. You showed God how you treat blessings that He gives to you when you no longer need them. And they don't recall, or they don't remember that time when we were there when nobody else was there. When we cared when nobody else cared. When we gave when nobody else was giving to them. And they didn't repay us back in kind. They actually kicked us. They kicked us. They talked crap about us. They lied on us. They sent other people to try to manipulate us and take from us as well too. It's one of those things. I was able to do this with this person and get this from him and get this from her and so on and so forth. Yeah. You ought to contact them and blah blah blah. You ought to hook up with them. You ought to do this. You ought to go over there. Yeah. And God saw all of it. He saw all of it. So a lot of these people may not have had any contact with for years, but they're still using us as a source. And they want to come back to us and fill up whenever they're running low, and they're not going to have that opportunity to do so anymore because we've cut the cords. God cut the cords. And this is when some of these individuals can really start to show their ass, because if they have had access to us for years, decades, and they have been able to siphon from us, drain from us, steal from us, take our creativity, take our love, abuse us, mistreat us for years, and they no longer have access to that, tell me, what would they do? Am I for real, boys? They probably go crazy. they'd probably act out even worse. And God has to come in and protect us and keep us safe from these crazies. Because that's really how God is seeing a lot of these people that would treat a blessing like trash. He sees them as being insane, crazy. Why would you do that? Why would anybody do that? So, does cutting the cords hurt? It can. It can when it comes to family, when it comes to people that you really love. If you're with somebody for a long time, yeah, it can.